My name is Curt Yoder. My title here is, well, I'm a real estate agent, an auctioneer, and I'm also a partner with the company. So I started in the year of 2000. I was engaged to Dave's daughter, and the reality is I didn't have a job. I was coming in from out of state, moved in from Indiana, and Dave told me he would give me a small salary. It was like a couple $100 a week. And my job was to go with our setup crew. Junior Slayball was our main guy then, and I just followed him around. We set up auctions, and shortly after I got my real estate license and started that way just as a real estate agent. So eventually I got into sales, but where I started was with the setup crew. My favorite thing about working at Kaufman probably has to be the flexibility that I've enjoyed. Coming out of high school and even moving out here, I really had no idea what I was ever going to do. And it was a natural fit for me. I love the idea that, one day I might have to be in the office, but the next day I can be out with people. I'm a people person. I love being with people. I like meeting new people. And this job has probably given me the best opportunity to get to know people, see different properties, not to get too far from my farming roots that I grew up in, so I can still be with farmers, but yet I still have office work. But I'm not set to one particular schedule, and I have a lot of flexibility. That's probably what I've enjoyed the most over the years. Well, that's a good question. What makes Kaufman unique? In my mind, we are not your typical real estate brokerage. We have more of a family team atmosphere. That's what I think makes us unique. I feel like while there's competition and there's outside competition, many times there's internal competition, but at the end of the day, we are still all together. And that's what I think I like the most about it. It's just the relationships within the company I feel like are solid. I've enjoyed the vision and the growth of the company, which I think makes us unique. I think we're intentional about trying to stay ahead of trends and being on the forefront of technology or innovation or creating new ways of doing what we're doing already. And so those factors, I think, but it really boils down to the internal relationships of the company, I think, are really important, and what I find makes us unique and maybe sets us apart from other organizations. Well, the company's grown a lot since I've joined. In the early 2000s, it was just Erica and Lisa were in the office, Dave, Anthony, myself, and then Junior Miller, Jake, and some others. There was maybe 10, 12 of us at that time. So over the years, the growth of the company has, evolved into multiple offices, multiple facilities, having a lot of internal support, marketing, IT, accounting, all those things being internal has all grown. We've gone from, maybe 10, 12 agents and auctioneers up to close to 100 now. So there has been significant growth, and I'm proud to be a part of that. As far as being with the company during those growing years has been a good experience for me. So one of my first memories, I've got a lot of early memories. I think just a couple brief ones, like we used to do a company breakfast. I'd say company, it was like client related. And now with the size of the volume of the business that we do now, it's not super practical to do that. That was a good memory. One of my first core memories, though, was with doing setup work with Junior Slayball. And we were tasked with bringing a tractor back from a piece of property that had been sold to consign into another auction. In those days, Junior Slayball had a property out in Berlin that he would oftentimes gather things up, and we'd do consignment sales there. So we had to bring this tractor home. So we set off in the morning to go get this tractor, and we end up getting it running, and as it's running, we're getting ready to load on the trailer, the thing just took off. And this is in Coshocton County in the hills. It just went down the hill and T-boned right into a tree. So that was obstacle number one. Now we had to figure out how we're gonna get this thing back. We finally got it loaded, started out the road, and at some point we hit a deer, and then we had a flat tire, and so it should have taken maybe an hour or two, ended up being a whole day. And I remember it being something that I had never wanted to forget because I grabbed, there was like a no hunting sign on the property. When I got home that night, I took that sign off that farm and I wrote down the events of the day, and I still have that, just so I would never forget exactly how all that went. So that was one of the things, that was an adventure we had one time with junior sleigh ball. So I've had a lot of really memorable auctions over the years, especially in 24 plus years of working here. I think what it boils down to for me, the ones that have been the most memorable to me have been the ones where it wasn't just another business transaction, it was something where I developed a relationship with the seller. And one in particular that I have in mind was a Southern Ohio farm, a situation where the farmer didn't want to have to sell, but due to financial circumstances had to. And in the course of that, it was a sizable auction, 300-400 acres of land that they had. And it was around the time where the 2008 debacle kind of happened with the housing crash. So real estate was a little bit dicey at that time. Out of that came a relationship that, and he's passed away now, but if he would see me at an auction, or if we'd cross paths, or I was coming through his area, I'd stop in and talk to him, or he would see me at an auction and we'd chat, and it became a friendship. And I look back on that particular auction, it wasn't the highest dollar amount auction I've ever done, it wasn't the most land I've ever sold at once, it wasn't the best equipment we've ever sold, but it was the relationship that came out of that that was memorable to me. And so I think that's, in a nutshell, what has made the auctions that I've been involved in, or the real estate transactions, the most memorable are the ones that actually there's a relationship comes out of that. Well, I owe a lot to Dave from a personal standpoint. I mean, he took a chance on me way back when. He didn't know me from Adam, and gave me a shot. So from that, I'm always been grateful. But as far as the company itself, so he sacrificed a lot over the years to give us a foundational structure here through his, I mean, he would work, many evenings, almost every Saturday, sacrificed a lot on that front, where we don't now, with the people we have, we don't have to do that, that he did. So I'm grateful to him for that. I think that was a key part to just the longevity of the business where we're at today. The other very critical thing that I think Dave has allowed at the company was when new ideas and new technologies and new innovations come to the table, he has never been one to squash any of those ideas. Just the way the technology, if you look at what's happened over the last 20, 25 years, to keep up with that required a lot of changes, and a lot of ways of doing things had to be different, bringing on more staff. Whenever we had to do something like that, Dave was always willing to be open to allowing us, as kind of the second generation, to take those ideas and expand the company forward. And I think that's a very critical part that he played in it, was just the ability to let go of certain parts of the company so that the growth of the company could continue to happen. So in the next, upcoming years of Kaufman, the future of Kaufman, I would see us as continuing to be innovative and in the forefront of our industry, and continuing to serve our communities well. I hope that the future of Kaufman is here for another 50 years, providing services to our communities. Many times when we're involved, it's single-handedly one of the biggest transactions that person may or may not ever make. And there's a lot riding on us. Dave told me years ago, and he said his dad told him this, that he said, you can in a single day liquidate everything that person has worked a lifetime to achieve. And the mindset of taking that stuff seriously to provide excellent service for many years to come is what I hope the future of Kaufman is. Just continuing to provide good service, being at the forefront of technology, continuing to get the best possible prices for assets for our clients, and putting them in positions where they can win is really what I hope we can be for the long-standing future.